Hey there, Crystal Thompson here for Unity Stamp Company. I'm very excited to be here with you on this Color Combos with Crystal. We're using an oldie but a goodie stamp set, Yuletide. This is an awesome border background stamp set that is Christmas inspired, along with the newest Glimmering Greetings, where you're going to be using Peace on Earth for the sentiment. And this stamp set is a newer release just last month in October. So I have both of these stamp sets ready to go on my mini Misty. I'm going to bring in my watermark and heat embossing ink, and we're going to ink up the whole thing. On the other side of the Misty, we have a white cardstock 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 ready to go. Once we've inked the whole thing, we're going to bring it down. Then using my sleeve, I'm going to rub down onto that platform to make sure the entire stamp set is pressed down to the cardstock. The reason I'm using the Misty is that I'm pretty bad about stamping large images, so I want to be able to come back and be sure that the whole thing and all the details are going to come through when I bring in the embossing powder. For this, we're going to use the gold fine glitter embossing powder from Simon, but you can use whatever you have in your craft stash. And we're going to add all this powder all around. I like to work in quarters, so when we're adding that embossing powder, we're doing to one corner, then the other, then placing that powder back onto the container to save it for the next project. And this is going to allow you to be sure that you fully cover all parts of the card. And a little tip is to place a bit of adhesive, some masking tape on the back of the card, especially when using with border stamps. That way you can have somewhere to grab the cardstock as you're placing heat embossing powder or anything that needs to be lifted. Once that's been heat set, I'm going to go ahead and trim my cardstock again, just because the stamp set was smaller than the cardstock. And I'm just cutting about 1/4 of an inch total on each side of that Peace on Earth. And we're going to bring 2 colors of Distress Oxides. We are going to begin with Lucky Clover for the first layer. And this is a really fun way to create new colors with ink pads that you might already have. We are adding the color concentration on the edges and then bringing it into the center and blending out. As you can see, we're leaving a little bit of a white just so we can get our next color, which is Cracked Pistachio. We're going to grab that in and we're going to blend that cracked pistachio into the inner part of the Piece of Earth. And don't worry, you feel like some of the glittery part of your heat embossing powder is going away. We're going to clean it off with a dry cloth. Then using some peacock feathers, we're going to blend on top of that Lucky Clover, and it's going to create a really pretty greenish blue, perfect for Christmas. We're going to mat the whole thing onto a piece of red cardstock, 5 1/4, 5 1/2 by 4 1/4, which is going to be just slightly larger than what we trimmed off, since we trimmed off that 1/4 of an inch. And we're just going to press down. For embellishment, we're going to use some gold paint, and I'm going to struggle opening the bottle just for a couple minutes, but I'm going to use the back end of it to do some gold splattering. It really adds a whole nother dimension to the card. And then I'm going to finish up with some red Nuvo Drops dots all over the card just to bring some more contrast. And guys, that does it for me. Thank you so much for joining me today in Color Combos for Crystal. If you want to see the entire step-by-step process written out, check out the Unity Stamp Company blog. And if you're new to the YouTube, please don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe to this video and channel. We'll see you later.